Assalamu alaikum and very good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about plagiarism and citation management using Mendeley Citation Manager. So let's start. I am borrowing few slides from Chakiman. Last week he did a very nice workshop on academic writing. So these few slides I am taking from him. Uh, I hope that you will be agree with this. Uh, what do you think? Are you agree with this? Okay, so let's start. What is a plagiarism? According to IEEE, plagiarism is the reuse of someone else's prior ideas, process, results, or words without explicitly acknowledging the original author or the source. Plagiarism is when you copy someone's work and try to pass it off as your own. So it's actually a crime and you can be punished if you use someone else's work. There are different types of plagiarisms. So let's try to understand what is a plagiarism. Let's suppose this is a sentence that someone has already written, and this is someone idea. And let's suppose you find a paper that it was written in that paper like this. For example, many people who read the word yarn or yarning will feel to urge to yarn, and then citation. So you see there are several ways to plagiarize. For example, number one, many people who read the word yarn or yarning will feel to urge the yarn. Okay, and you didn't as if you write like this, like the number one. This is one way of plagiarism. Second one, even though if you cite the person, but if you look at the wordings is totally the same as the original one. So even though you have cited, but it is still considered as a plagiarism. Third one, you see, if you write like this, researchers have found that by merely blah 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 blah, so it is also plagiarized because paraphrase but no citation given. So you have paraphrased, you didn't use the word, but you have not cited. So the only correct one is like this, that you will have to cite properly and you will have to paraphrase. So meaning to say, you will have to cite the person, you will acknowledge the basic idea, it is from who, and after that you will paraphrase the sentences and the words. So even though if you cite also, you cannot still use his wordings exactly. Okay, there are different types of plagiarism. Number one, for example, plagiarism. So borrowed plagiarism is the fact that if someone give you permission to copy their work, okay, so it doesn't make it okay to submit it as your own. Meaning to say, if the person already give you, but it doesn't mean that you say that this is my work now. No, you will still have to cite the person. And if that person has cited someone else, so you will have to keep cite that one. So if you look at these two examples, okay, so you will realize that there is a little bit changes, but the basic idea is the same. So you cannot do like that, even though someone allow you, someone give you permission to use my work, but it doesn't mean that become your work now. Second one, self-plagiarism, reusing your own work when you should be creating a new work, also results of plagiarism. But it means it is something like this. That for example, you have wrote something, you have done one assignment already. Okay, and after some time you are doing another assignment or writing another paper. So you take the same thing that you have previously done, okay, and now you want to use the same thing and claim that this is my new work. No, it is actually old work of your own, so it is a self-plagiarism. some people are doing like this. For example, the work that they do in a master, later on with a little bit change or maybe a very minor change, they present the same thing in a PhD and they claim like a new work, but actually it is not a new work. It is the same work that they have done previously. So this is called self-plagiarism. Mosaic plagiarism is incorporating some of your original wordings into a piece that was largely written by someone else would represent mosaic plagiarism. So if someone has already done some work and you just put a little bit changes in there, so it is called mosaic plagiarism. For example, you find a paper similar to your assignment and change some wording so that is it not direct copy, though the idea, information, and the organizations are not original. So you change the wordings, but the idea, the arrangement, and the organization of the article you are still using of someone else. So it is plagiarism. Or using a work completely by someone else, then recognizing it or adding extra text to what was there to start with is also an example of mosaic plagiarism. If you look at these this example, on the left one is the source and on the right one is a plagiarized it. So if you read and if you go through you will realize that actually the idea is the same. There is some minor changes, some minor wordings has been changed, but the basic idea is the same of the original source. So in that case, this is also one form of plagiarism. Fourth one, aggregated plagiarism. When a person copies from a multiple sources and submit or publish the work as if it is her own, that is called aggregate plagiarism. For example, a student has a book report due but has not read the book. So here she visits a book review websites and copies directly from several of the reviews to create his or her report. So this is also one type of aggregate plagiarism because you combine several different people views and then you are saying that it's my point of view, my work. No. So this is also one type of plagiarism. Another example for a technical writer copies chunk of wordings from documents that he or she finds online from several products similar to the one he or she is writing about. So if you are writing about something and then you find at different sources the same concept that you have to write, and then you take different pieces from many different sources, so actually you combine many different sources into one piece, but still all these pieces that you combine actually belongs to someone else. So this is also one type of plagiarism. If you look at this example, the source text 1 and the source text 2. So like these two sources, you took from these two sources and you combine here like the right one. But if you read, you will find that actually the basic idea is still the same. So it is also a plagiarism. Fifth one is outline plagiarism. If you are to follow the order and structure of someone else's work very closely, this would represent outline plagiarism. Like for the structure, if you are writing something, maybe the content is your own, but the structure and the heading is exactly someone else. So you are plagiarizing the outline. You want, for example, if you want to write a blog post on a topic that you saw covered on another blog, so you like the way it is organized, so you copy the headings and then fill in with your own text. So the heading structure you actually took from someone else. So this is also one type of plagiarism. And you are not sure how to best organize your term paper or maybe your thesis structure, okay, or maybe even the table of content. So you find a similar one and copy the table of contents, then follow it exactly when writing your code base. So this is also actually one type of plagiarism. If you look at the left and right example, so you see the section 1, the section 2, the style, even the font, everything is the same, but maybe the content is a bit different, or maybe the content is even also the same. So this is another type of plagiarism. Sixth one is direct plagiarism, taking credit for someone else's work as if you wrote it yourself is an example of direct plagiarism. Okay, for example, a website owner wants to add new content instead of writing articles. He copy articles from other websites and publishes them on his own site. So this is an academic is expected to publish academic paper, but is low on time. So he finds some other old papers and then rephrases it and then publish as its own work. So this is also a plagiarism. Higher plagiarism, like paying someone to complete an assignment for you. This is also a plagiarism. For example, a student decides to hire an academic writing service to produce literature review for our class. Okay, the service produces the complete paper and he or she submits his as his own work. So this is actually a higher plagiarism. And a student asked her older brother, maybe older brother, maybe your colleague or roommate or anyone, okay, take, and let's suppose that your colleague or your brother offers to just write a paper if he or she do his job. Meaning to say, you request someone, okay, and then that person agree on some condition, and that person do your write your paper or write your thesis. Actually, this is also plagiarism. That is not your own work. Okay, seventh is a collaborative plagiarism. For example, in your case, when you are writing a group assignment, maybe there are many other examples that many people are writing research papers together. So there is a group work or partner project in which one or more members of the group don't actively participate and can lead. So that also lead to a plagiarism. So only few person, 1 or 2% do the whole work and the rest of the member don't do anything. So actually that is also a plagiarism. Second one, next one, contributing author plagiarism. Failing to include someone as an author who actively contributed to the creation of the work. It means that there is actually one person who did a very active role and he did a lot of work in some project or in some thesis, okay? But when the work was ready to publish, then that person name who was very active and he did a lot, okay, that person is not there. Actually, it is also a plagiarism. Okay, next one, bibliographic plagiarism. When an assignment requires a bibliography and you shouldn't just use someone else's source list instead of doing your own research. So meaning to say, you are writing assignment or you are writing thesis, but you find someone bibliography and you just copy someone bibliography and paste in your one. This is also plagiarism. You cannot do like that. Okay. Secondary source plagiarism. Any information included in your work of writing that is based on something discussing in a source you consulted when doing research should be properly cited. This includes sources you consulted even if you don't quote them directly. So publishing, for example, publishing a blog post inspired by another source, which including without including a mention of or link to that source is an example of secondary source plagiarism. Accidental plagiarism, the act of plagiarism doesn't have to be intentional. Yeah, many people don't want, actually, they they don't intentionally doing this work. Sometimes unintentionally they do these mistakes. So copying someone else's work and submitting it without proper attribution is a plagiarism. So even though if you mistakenly do that or if you unintentionally do that, but whatever type of this plagiarism you do, actually it will be considered as a plagiarism. You cannot say like this that, oh, I didn't do intentionally. If you do intentionally or if you do unintentionally, it is a plagiarism. Okay, so what we should do plagiarism versus paraphrasing. Okay, so plagiarism come through many different examples. And we have some idea now what is plagiarism. So if we compare plagiarism with paraphrasing, so paraphrasing involves taking a passage, either spoken or written, and rewording it. Okay, writers often paraphrase sentences and paragraphs to deliver information in more concise way. When paraphrasing, it is important to keep the original meaning so that the facts remain intact. So basically, you are writing something in your own words that still express the original idea. So you are just changing the wordings, but actually the basic idea is still someone else. This is called paraphrasing. Okay, so if you paraphrase also, it doesn't mean that now that someone idea become yours. No. Okay, so what we should do? If we paraphrase, still we need to cite. Yes, we need to cite. I am showing this slide once again. That you see, this is someone idea. If you write like number one, still it is a plagiarism. If you write like number two, it is still plagiarism. So the best way is like that, that you give the credit to the original author, you acknowledge, and then use your own wordings. Okay, meaning to say paraphrase it and properly cite it. Okay, so the best way to avoid plagiarism is to comprehend the someone work. Okay, first try to thoroughly understand what is it, and then change the structure of the sentences. Okay, and then change the words also, and then combine different ideas. For example, you read from many different sources. Okay, and then try to describe whatever you have studied and whatever you have learned from other sources or from other papers, then describe in your own words, but don't forget to cite properly. Okay, so you all of us are learning actually from other sources, from other books, from other papers, from blogs, from tutorials. But when we are submitting, so we should must properly cite. Okay, so when we want to cite, okay, so this one is about alternative. So when you are copying someone else work, or when you are using someone else wording or sentences, then actually Turnitin is a similarity checker. It finds how much two different documents are similar to each other. So in academic writing, if when the plagiarism is less than 25, then it is acceptable. Okay, so actually this software can tell you exactly from where someone has copied. If you click the number, it will lead you to that source, that this sentence is from that particular source. Okay, so if we need to cite properly, so then a question is how to cite. Because we are learning from books, we are learning from journals, we are learning from some conference papers, magazine, and web pages. So these are all the sources of different knowledge. So how to cite a book, how to properly cite a journal, how to properly cite a proceeding. So we will go through that. Okay, so Okay, so we were discussing that when we are learning from books, journals, proceeding, magazine, or any other source, so we need to properly cite. So if we need to properly cite all these sources, then we let's try to understand and try to learn how to properly cite book, how to properly cite journals, proceeding, magazine, web pages, and many other sources. Okay, so when we are citing some book or journal or anything, so there are two ways to cite. Okay, one is called in text. Okay, one is called author focus and one is called info focus. So this is actually in a text. When we are writing, then inside a text, when we are citing, then how to cite. Okay, I'm not talking about the references at the end. No, inside the text. So one is the author focus, one is info focus. So how to cite it? So the author focus is like this, that first you will specify the author name and then the year, and after that you will describe what the author did and his work in detail. So that is so meaning to say the author comes first in author focus. And in the info focus, the information comes first. You talk about the idea, you talk about the work, and at the end you just cite the author. For example, like this. You see, like a recent study has proven that mass students spend most of their daytime on Facebook. So you see, here is the info focus. First, we talk about the information about the university student. At the end, we cite it. Okay, the second way is the author focus. So the author focus, we use citation like this, and then we talk about the way this person did. So here the focus goes to the author. Okay, another rule about citation is that when you are citing, okay, then you will have to use your last name only. Okay, inside a text. Again, I am talking about inside a text. So inside a text, only last name of the surname is allowed to use. But it actually it depends on different cultures and different countries also. Some people names, especially like Malay people names or Muslim names, they have the surname quite different, or maybe they are using different parts of the name. So in that case, you can use a full name also if you want. Okay, and you will have to use ampersand when citing names in a parenthesis. Okay, so inside the parentheses, like this. Okay, like inside parentheses, you will have to use ampersand. Okay, ampersand is this one. Okay, when you are using in a parenthesis, but when is in a text, then you will have to use and. Okay, for example, you see like David and Helen. So here you will not use ampersand. You will use the word and when is in a parenthesis, then you will use the word the symbol ampersand. Okay, so let's continue. This is an example that if a single author, so you see in a brackets the last name and then the year, okay. But in a references list, a last name and the acronyms of the first name and middle name and then year. And if there are two authors, then first author last name and then the word and the second author last name, and in a citation will be like this. Okay, so this is the way how to write in a text and how to write in references. So actually there are many different sources. So let's go through different resources, how to cite different sources. For example, when we need to cite a book, okay, then we need to cite in this way, like author last name and then first name starting letter and then full stop. okay, and then the year in a bracket, and then the title of the book, and then publisher city, and then state, and then publisher. This is the general style how to cite a book. Example is like this. For example, the surname, last name, and then first name, and then the year, and then title of the book, okay, and then the publisher city, and then the state, okay, New York, and then the publisher. Okay, here is one point to be noted, that when you are mentioning the state like New York, so it is NY only. So this is only for United States. Okay, all the states in United States, abbreviations are used for that, and for the rest of the word, and any other country states, you will have to specify fully, not abbreviations. Okay, so another way, if there is a single author, okay, then the single author name, last name, and then first name, first character, and full stop, and so on, you see, like this. And if there are two authors, then use ampersand, okay, like so. Now these style, we are not talking about text anymore. We are talking about the references, the bibliography, and the last at the end of the papers. If there is a corporate organization or any association name, then you will have to write fully like this, and after that, a full stop. Okay, and unknown author, so then you start with the title. Let's suppose the title, the book, or maybe some report, or anything. So whatever the title is, you just start from the title like that. Okay, and two or more works by the same author, if it is like include the author's name for each entry. Okay, you see, you are citing one author several times. Okay, then order according to the year. Okay, earliest first. For example, the same author, but 1979 and 1992. So the order will be based on the year. Okay, and if two or more works by the same author and same year, okay, same author, same year, then you will include the author's name for each entry and order according to year, okay, and within a single year, order again alphabetically by the title, okay, and then give a repeated years in a lowercase letter. For example, the first in 1970, 97, and then A. The first work will be A. This will be a suffix, and the second work will be small lowercase b. And if there is a third one, then C and D, and so on. So you will have to do like this. So now this is actually the new change in APA 7, that for 3 to 20 others, okay, you will have to include every other. And in the references, not the point, don't confuse with the text and the references. I'm talking about the references. So in the references, previously it was like this, that until 7, okay, until 7 authors 6, and you will have previously in APS 6 was like this, that you will have to write author 1 2 3 4 5 6, and the rest you will have to put ellipsis, means dot dot dot, and then the last one. But now in a 7 is like this, that you will have to type all 20 authors, and you will have to put ampersand at the last 20, 20th, yeah, ampersand after the 19th author. So meaning to say, in the APS-7 style, it has been changed, and you will have to, you can include authors until 20. Okay. Now, if many authors, again, if there are more than 20 authors, okay, then the way how to write like this, then so this one is actually like this, that if there are 20 authors, okay, then 3 to 20, then you will have to write like this, that 1 2 2 3, 4, 5 until 19, and at the second, after the second last one, you will put ampersand and then the last one. And if it is more than 20, then you will have to do like this, that after the 19th author you will use ellipsis, okay, the dot dot, okay. And after this dot dot means that now you are skipping the middle authors, okay. How many authors will be there, so you are skipping and you are just putting the last author there, okay. So if you want to give a reference of a book chapter, then how to do it. So the surname of the author, first of all surname of the author, then the first name initials, and then in a brackets year of publication, then the title of the chapter, okay, and then title of the book, and then page numbers, and place of publications, and then the publisher. For example, this one, like Baker, comma M, and then 1998, okay, and then title of the chapter, and then title of the book, and then the pages, okay, and then the place of publications, okay, and then publishers, okay. To cite an ebook, you will use like this, like last name of the author, then first name, initial and year of publication, then the title of the book, okay, of the ebook, then the retrieved from, okay, the version, and then retrieved from, like this one, okay. Like look at this example, like HoloLens, okay, last name and then first name and then year and then title and then retrieved from, like the URL, WI. Okay, then next one is a journal. How to put citation about a journal? The You will have to use the surname of the author, and then the first name initials, okay, initial, and then after the initial is a full stop, and then publication year, then title of the article, and then name of the journal, and then volume, and then in parentheses the issue, and after that comma, and then pages from and to, like example this one. So last name, and then first name, and then year, and then in a double quotation the title of the paper, and then the journal name, okay. The journal name is italic, and then the volume, and then issue, and the pages from and. And how to cite e-journal is the same, almost the same. Like you see, there is a little bit difference. There, like the surname of the author, first name initial, and then year of publication, and then article title. So if you see here article title was in double quotation, but in case of e-journal, the title is not in double quotation. And then if there is a periodic title, then you will have to use. If not, then you only the title, and then volume, and then issue, and then pages, and then DOI, or maybe the URL that which you from. For example, look at this one. So you see almost the same. Here is the title without double quotation, and the rest of the information. Okay, website. In our website, you again you will have to use the surname of the author and first name initials. Then you see previously we were just talking about the year. Here is a year and month of the publication, and then title of the article and title of the website. Okay, and then retrieved from. For example, this one, yeah, like Loomis, comma D, and 2015, and then January, and so on. Okay, like this. Magazine, for print one, you will have to cite like this: the surname of the author, the first name initials, year and month of the publication, and then title of the articles, and then magazine title, and comma, volume, and then in a bracket issue, and then pages from and to, like this example. Okay, and for online, the almost the same, like the surname of the author, then first name initials, okay, the year and month of publication, and in double quotation the title of the article, and then magazine title, volume, and issue, okay, and then retrieved from like the URL or DOI. Okay, example like this. Newspaper for printed one. Sometimes we need to cite a newspaper, but if the newspaper is printed in a hard copy, then how to cite? How to write the reference about that? So the surname of the author, the first name initials, okay, then full stop, then in a parenthesis, year and month, month, date of the publication, okay, and article title and newspaper title, comma, and then the pages, like this one. You see the author, last name, comma, first name initial, then year, then month, and then day, then the title, okay, then the title of the newspaper, then comma, pages, okay, this one, in this way. And for online is the surname of the author, then the first name initial, and the year, month, and date of publication, okay, and then the newspaper title and the URL that from where you have access it. Next one, how to cite a patent. Sometimes we need to cite someone else patent. So in that case, the name of the inventor of the author, okay, date of obtaining the patent, and labeled patent are the application number, then place, and then the office. For example, this guy, last name, and then first name initial, then year, then the name of patent, and then the patent number, and the city, okay, the place where it was, and the office. And conference proceeding, okay, the is the surname of the author and first name initial, year, and then the conference paper title, and then the first initial of the editor, if the editor name is known and is there and available, then editor surname, okay, and then proceeding of the book title, okay, and then the pages and place of publisher, like this, like this example. Okay, so the differences between APS 6 and APS 7, the APS style guidelines are modified from time to time, and currently the APS 7 editor is in use. So it is recently published, and the difference between the two versions, APS 6 and S7, are like this. That when creating a citation for a source with three or more authors, then you will have to include the name of the first author only, and then you will write it all. Previously it was like this in APS 6, that until I think until 7, you will have to write all the author names for the first time, and then subsequent time means second time or third time when you are citing the same people, then you will have to use first author and first author last name, and then it all. But now in the seventh edition, it has been changed that even for the first time, if there are three authors, you will not write the three authors' name. You will write the three authors or three or more than three authors. You will just write the first author name and then it all. So this is about the text when you are citing inside the text, not in a references. So in the references list, the APA document, you can include all the names up to 20 authors. So if there are 20 authors, so you will have to write all 20 authors. Okay. And if there are more than 20 authors, then you will have to give like this. You must give ellipsis after the 19th. So 1 until 19, you will have to write completely all of them. And after that, you will put ellipsis, okay, and then the last author name, okay. And you no longer have to include the place of publication in the references as per the list. Oh, place is not included anymore. And you must provide the issue number of the journal within parentheses and immediately after the volume number. Okay, and follow this format mentioned like the UI. That UI will be like this: HTTPS colon blah 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 blah, like this. And you cannot miss out the retrieve from, that retrieved from. It will be there and before the URL. So these are the few changes. The big change is the 20 authors and the et al. Previously we were not using et al for the first time, but now from the very first time, if there are three authors or more than three authors, then you will use directly the first author name, first author last name, and then the rest just use it all. Okay, so how to use it all? These are the actually this is, to some student it is quite confusing. This is why I want to explain a bit that how to use. So if you use it all like this, you see, like in a double quotation it, and after that all and nothing after that. So this is also wrong. The second one is also wrong. The third one is also wrong. Okay, if you write in a parenthesis, okay, like this, like the authors, first author, then et al, and no full stop, okay, or period, okay, this is also incorrect. If you write, if you put a full stop after it also and all also, this is also incorrect. So if you after it there is actually no full stop, the full stop should be after the uh, word all. So okay, so this is actually abbreviation. This is why we need to put a full stop after this, the correct one. And you see the second one is, this is also incorrect. You see three this much word no cannot. Okay, so this one is also correct. So if there are three or more than three others, so the first one, the first other last name, and then et al, then full stop, then comma, then yeah. So it is correct. You see this one, the second last, it is also not correct. Okay, so if there are only two others, and then yes, you can use ampersand and then comma. So no need to write HR. Today we will talk about Mendeley. Mendeley it is staff. So Mendeley is a company actually basically located in London, UK, and it provides different products and services for academic researchers. And it is most common for the reference manager, okay, which is used to manage and share research papers and generate bibliography for scholarly articles. And one is called reference manager, okay. You can download that one from here, and one is called Mendeley Desktop, so you can download using this link. Okay, and the third one here, this is actually an online library. So when you download the any one of these, you will have to register, you will create an account, so you will have one a cloud version which is called the online library, and one local version which is the reference manager or desktop. If any one of you facing any problem while after downloading, then try to reset your password in the online Elsevier system. Actually, the link I have already given. If you go to this link, there is a discussion about this issue, and the Mendeley team already responded to them, and they provided some solution. Okay, so you try to follow that one. Otherwise, actually, they have mentioned that they are trying to fix this issue. Hopefully, until that time, it will be fixed already. Okay, so first of all, when you install Mendeley, then you will have to log in like this. And the second most important task should be this one. Because we want to use Mendeley in MS Word when we are typing, when we are writing theses or paper or any assignments, okay, then we need to install the MS Word plugin. So if you click the tool menu, okay, and in the tool menu, then install the MS Word plugin. I have already installed. This is why it's in my case it looks like uninstall. Okay, the second component is install the web crawler, web importer. Okay, so the web importer is used to import references for you. So how it imports references, we will go through all this step by step. Okay, so the web importer is an browser add-on. So for Chrome it is like this. So the process looks like this: add this one to Chrome, and when this one is successfully added, then you will have to you will see the icon here at this moment. So in the list of other add-ons you can find it. Okay, when I was installing, actually, I found some very important and very useful other add-ons. Actually, these add-ons are not part of today's discussion, but I just want to share with you that the Google Scholar add-ons. Try to use this one. So you can directly just click it and you will go to Google Scholar. And you know the Google Scholar is quite useful, and we are too much dependent on when we are downloading and when we are trying to find the papers, like paper of the day. So when you install this add-on, actually when you open your browser, at every new tab, it will show you the most important paper of that field. Okay, so I will demo all these things one by one. So let's open uh, Mendeley desktop and let's try it. This is the common interface of Mendeley desktop. Once you install them, the second most important thing is to now populate it. Populate means to bring citation to it and bring papers to it. So in my case, if when you see here is a several papers. Okay, but when you install it, this will be totally empty and there will be no papers, no citation in it. So how to bring citations to Mendeley software? Okay, so the first very easy way is that just simply drag. This is the most powerful uh, technique of Mendeley, that just drag a paper, a research paper to this panel. So you see, you will see the this paper will be copied to Mendeley. Okay, and just leave it. So you see here, this paper is here now, the selected paper, and now you can see that all the information is automatically extracted from the PDF, and you can see here the information that it's a journal article. This is the title of the article. These are the authors of the article. Okay, this is the journal name, and this is the year, this is the volume, issue, number of pages, even abstract. Okay, and other informations you see, like the keywords. Okay, and the publisher is Taylor and Francis. Okay, URL, that UI is there. You see, until that level information will be automatically extracted from the PDF. So the one way to just drag PDF and paste here. Even you can drag in a bulk so many PDF. You just select it and drag it. So Mendeley will automatically extract all the information from the PDFs. Okay, and no need to type the title, the authors one by one, the comma and the blah blah, all the details Mendeley will do it. But not the point. Sometime in some PDF it is not provided. Okay, the PDF lacks some of the information. So make sure to, after dragging a PDF, you try to check all these information. If these informations are there, then is okay. If not there, then you will have to manually find the information and manually key in. Otherwise, even if Mendeley even if when you are using in a text, then sometime wrong information may come and sometime less information may come. So you will have to check one by one. Okay, next method is add like this. You see here, add, just click the add button, and then from here you can select any paper. Okay, any paper that you have, just select it and then click open, so that will be automatically come through to the Mendeley. Okay, but again, when you click like this also, you will have to select, you will have to check once again that all the informations are complete or not. Actually, in some PDF it is something, some informations are missing, so you will have to complete that one. Therefore, it's necessary to check it. This one, by the way, I want to explain to you that this is the paper of the day add-ons of Chrome. So whenever I click a new tab, so you see the new tab will automatically open by the paper of the day. Okay, and that paper of the day will give me the most important, or the quite yeah, very important paper in that field. So you will see it will give you some information also, that the how many people already read the paper, and it is published when. Okay, what's the name, what's its category. So this category is, in my case, I have changed to computer science. Okay, you can change to any field that you want, and that is here. You see, when you select, so you see these are all the different fields you can change. Okay, and if you want to just go through, because when we are generally searching, sometimes we don't know that Google is bringing, or Google Scholar is bringing what type of paper for us. Maybe very old one, maybe non-important or important one. There is a general search. So you see, in this case, you can go next. Okay, you can go next, you can go next, and all the most important papers you can get. And actually you can, when you click, you see, when you click view in Mendeley, so then it will be automatically open in Mendeley. Okay, and then you see you can add to library also, and here you see the Mendeley add-ons activated. So if you click this one, you see the Mendeley, uh, it will open automatically like this. So this is another way to add papers or citations to Mendeley software. Okay, another option is like this. That go to Google Scholar. You see, this is a Google Scholar add-ons. So when you click this one, you can directly open Google Scholar like this. Okay, and here, let's suppose if you type any paper, let's suppose in my case augmented reality in museum. So you see all these are the papers that Google Scholar brought for us. Okay, so now if you open the Mendeley add-ons, okay, in my case I have installed several, so you see it is not visible here, so you will click the last extension. Okay, and then you will get the list of all the extensions that you have installed, and then click the Mendeley importer. This is the web importer. So you see now actually the web importer is is accessing all these information which is displayed here. But you see, here is a lot of information. This is why it takes a bit time. So it's up to you. If you want to add all these papers which are displayed on this page, okay, then you just wait for this web importer. It will get all the information here, and then you just click add to Mendeley. And if you don't want like this and you cannot wait, then let's suppose you see, you just click the paper, specific paper that you want to add. Okay, and after that open the Mendeley web importer. So in this case it will get a bit faster. So you see it's already here. So you see it is already selected, and then you can simply say select from my library. You see it will be automatically added to your library. Okay, if you click like this, it's sometimes it gets more than two papers. You see this, because this is a complete issue. Okay, so or complete volume. So you see the first one was already already added. But you see, when they cannot find the PDF because this PDF is not free, so this is why Mendeley cannot download for you automatically. So if the PDF is available, then it will be automatically downloaded the PDF also. If PDF is not download available, or if PDF is not free, then you will only get the reference. So if you want to add the rest of the papers also, then just click, okay, click all those that you want to add, then just click it. PDF. Let's suppose this one. Okay, so its PDF is available, and you can download from here manually and drag it one way. And if you don't want to do like this, then you just open this one, okay, and just wait few seconds. The web importer will grab all the information from this, and then will automatically add it. Let's wait. It takes few seconds. Yeah, so you see now already. So you see in this case, PDF is accessible because it is free. Okay, it is free, and even you can view also. So when you click like this, it will be automatically added. So this is another way how to add, how to populate your database of references inside Mendeley software. Okay, so next thing is, yeah, so when we populate it, okay, so these are the different ways how to populate. Now let me quickly go a bit through the interface. That after population, you should be a bit familiar with the interface. So you see here in this interface here, the first plus button, you can add file, you can add folder, the complete folder, you can watch a folder, you can add entry manually also. Oh, the last option should be this one. So if you don't have the PDF, and if you cannot, let's suppose, find a line also to bring through the web importer, then you will have to do manually. Okay, so you can select what type of article is it. It is a book, it is a whatever is it, or if it is a journal. Okay, then authors, you see, it's quite nice. It will tell you the last name, then comma, then first name. Okay, all author names. So one author in one line, last name, comma, first name, then next line, last, if there is another author, okay, then last name, comma, first name, and then journal name, year, volume, all informations are given. You will have to give all the information manually and then save. This is another way. So here you can actually add your own folders also. For example, here like I have created one. So sometimes we want to categorize the references through a specific folders for arrangement purpose. So for example, here I added a folder A. Okay, I didn't put any citation or PDF in there, so you can add actually folder just by clicking this one, or maybe is a subfolder you see under AR, because it was AR was selected. This is why it is under that. So if you want to rename, you can rename. If you want to remove, you can remove. Okay. So and when this is the main folder is selected, and when you click create folder, so it will be under, for example, FYP. Okay, so this will be under the main tree. Okay, next one, if you want to delete a folder, okay, just click this one, so it will be deleted. Another point is that if you have citation here, let's suppose this one, okay, you select, you know that this topic or this paper is about some item, but you have a lot of big database inside Mendeley software. So you want to find all the references and all the PDF related to this one, then just click this one, so it will search all the PDF related to this. So actually my database is quite limited. I just uh, uh, enter few PDFs. So this is why there is no related documents of this. I couldn't find, and if you have a lot, then you can find. Next option is the sync option. This sync option means that your Mendeley desktop and your online library, which is web-based in the cloud Mendeley, so it will sync. If in the clouds are more references, it will come to your desktop, and if your desktop has more references, it will go there. So they will sync together to become equal. Okay, so these are the few interface related information. Next one, if you go to this one, to view, okay, if you click the view, here you will see the citation styles. Okay, for example, in this case I selected advanced robotics, so you can change, you see, to APA 7 style. Okay, citation style APA 7 or APA 6, okay, or any one that you want. So you see there are many. So if you are looking for such a citation style which is not available here, then you click here, click more. Okay, so these are the installed and get more citation. Okay, these are all the installed citation here. If you want to get more, so you just type the name of any citation style, you will get it, for example, like this, and then click install. It will be automatically installed. Then you go to the install section, you see like here, and when you see that one that we installed right now is, then you, yeah, this one. So then you can click use this style, so it will be changed. So you see, if you go there to the view again and citation style, you see that the one is selected. So this is the way how to change the style of citation. Okay. The help is also quite important. Actually, if you click this one, you will find these four main components. So if you click this link, you will find all the basic information. And if you click this one, you will also find all the basic information. See, like when you click this one, you will see, you will have a complete Mendeley guide about the introduction, the interface, the organizing. All this information is given here. Okay, so if you go through, you see all this information is quite explanatory, self-explanatory. This is why I think I should not go through this. Okay, go to next one. If you click this one, how to cite, it will tell you all the information about the citation, but we will go through this one, so no need. So this one is another tutorial about the when the tabs are selected. Okay, let me show you how the tabs are selected. So you see, this is the Mendeley library interface. Okay, let's close this one. If we click all documents, okay, and if you want to read, actually the Mendeley software is like a browser, also a citation manager also. It has many functionality, and even a PDF reader is included. Let's suppose if we open anyone like this. Okay, so you see, now the icons change already. Okay, now the icons are changed for us because now the tab is selected. You see, this is the main library. You see, it's changed like this, the icons change, and when you click this one, then it changes. So this has further options, but I should not skip one option here. uh, i I should not forget this one. Like another option for adding citation to Mendeley Manager is this one also. They just select literature search, and here you type whatever you want. For example, if I type augmented reality, okay, and if I click, you see all these informations will come. So any paper that you like, you just select it, you see, and then click save reference. So this is another way how to add references to your database. Okay, now let's go to the tab one. So this is the place where we want to read a paper, let's suppose using within a Mendeley restart. So let's suppose if we are reading this PDF, so we can select. Okay, you see, we can select like this using the select tool, and after that you can highlight. You see, you can add some text and you can copy using this one. And this selection tab, you see, you can drag and drop and the page where you want. You can do this one by the scroller also, but this one also is easy possible. Second one, you can add notes. Okay, for example here, okay, here you want to add a note. Okay, you just click the note, and from here you can type whatever you want to type. And actually from here you can change the color of the note. Okay, whatever color you want. Okay, and if you want to delete the note, okay, so let me, okay, so you see the notes will come here also. If I add another one, okay, another one, so you see this one, you see here that the list of notes will be here, you can see. If you want to delete, you can easily delete from here also, and from here also. You see, just delete. Yeah, delete this note. Yes, delete this note. Okay. Yes, you can delete also. If you want to highlight a text, you see these are highlight a rectangle or highlight a text. It has two options. Okay, if you want to highlight a text, you see it goes through text. Sometimes we want to highlight in a rectangle format. You see, if you look at this, you see it's highlight a rectangle. So it's up to you. And then you can again change the color, whatever color you want to give to this. Next option here is the zoom in and zoom out. For example, you see zoom out, you see, and zoom in, you can do like this also. And the easy one, that by one click, you just click fit to zoom, okay? Fit to like this. The see the whole page fit, okay, and this one the fit of the page. You can do like this. You can go through full screen, okay, like this. Yeah, and after that. Press escape to come exit from the full screen, and this one is the sync button. Using the sync, you can force Mendeley to sync with the cloud library and the local system. So these are the different options when the tabs are selected, and whenever you open another you can open at the same time several PDFs. Okay, for example here, if I want another one, okay, so all the tabs will be selected like this, and when if you want to go back, okay, then just click my library tab, so you will go back like that. Okay, so I think we have almost covered the interface and how to populate, how to install. Now let's go how to use it in actual writing. Okay, so let me open any MS Word document. So we have already installed the MS Word plugin, Microsoft Word plugin. So when you open Microsoft Word file, okay, when you open Microsoft Word file, let's suppose this is your thesis file. Okay, let me delete all this stuff. So maybe you are starting from the beginning. So let's suppose you are typing something like this. Okay, now you want to cite any source, maybe book, maybe journal, or maybe conference, anyone. So you know what to cite, then you go to the references. Okay, so you see when you click the references tab in MS Word, you will see here the new Mendeley Mendeley extension. If you cannot see this one, it means you have not installed. Then you will have to go to Mendeley. You see from here, and then from tools, and you from here you will have to install. Okay, so I have already installed. This is why in my case it show me like that, and it is already here. Okay, so if you want to cite now inside a text. So you see there are two parts in citation. One is cite inside the text, and one is the references, which is called bibliography. Okay, so inside a text, you see there is a lot of details. So how to do it, and the author's name and the comma and all the et al. So you see the citation manager is useful for this purpose, that all these detail will be handled by citation manager. And even in the references, okay, all the number of authors, the title, the italic, the all the other details will be handled by citation manager. So how to do it? Let's suppose we want to cite here. You just click insert citation. Okay, before that, before this one, you will have to select what style, because actually, let's suppose you are writing your FIP thesis. So a FIP thesis, UNIMA style is APA. Okay, so American Psychological Association, APA stands for that. So APA has now the new version 7th. Okay, and this one is the old version. So these are different citation style. So let's suppose we select APA 7. Okay, and after that insert citation. So here you see you have different options. You can search here by author, by title, by year in the library. You can go to the library, okay, or you can go to Mendeley software back and select from there. So let's do one by one. Let me show you by different criteria. Let's suppose I type my name, okay. So my papers are there. So you see all these papers are given, which is by me. Let's suppose select this one. You see you can do several also at a time if you want in at one place. Okay, but like this. So you see it is given, and now you see the style is already at all, because it is more than three authors. It's not like previous APA 6, that in APA 6 for the first time all the authors will have to include first, and when you are citing the same thing second time, the same paper second time, then it will use et al. But in APA 7, from beginning, you will have to use et al. If the authors are three or more than three. Okay, next one. Let's suppose you are typing again and you want to cite something again. Go to click insert citation, and this time if you want to go to Mendeley, you see you go there, click this one back. You have all the other library, all search. If you see you can search here also, and you can whatever way you want to select. Okay, for example, if you search here, you can search by title, by title. You can select directly from here. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so let's suppose I select this one. Okay, then you will get these two extra icon. If you see, I will show you previously these two icons are not available. So when you select any paper here, then you just click, you see, send to citation. Then you see it will come here. Let me show you once again this process. So insert citation. Okay, before this, let me show you the normal interface. You see, in here in the normal interface, there is no the send to citation or cancel the citation. The two icons are not here. But now here, if I click insert citation and if I go to Mendeley, you see here you will see these two extra. So and then select any one that you want. Okay, and then click this send to citation. You see that citation already come in. So this is the way how to insert citation. Okay, uh, if you want to insert more citation, okay, more citation at one place, you can do that one also. For example, if you want to insert several citations in one place, then you can do like this: insert. So then I will type by name, let's suppose this one, and then search again. Let's suppose by topic, by title AR. Okay, another one. Let's suppose by any title. Yes, by region, you see this one related to region. So you see, I selected three references at one time. I will click OK. So you see three added together. One, two. You see, and they are separated by semicolon. This one and color. So you can add. Sometime we are uh, citing several papers at one place. So Mendeley is managing this one very nicely. Okay, and now if you want to edit, okay, to edit any citation, so you can actually edit any citation manually like this. Okay, you see, when you change anything and you click outside, it will give you the option that you want manual edition. That if you click yes, say yes, then it will give you the manual edition for editing. For example, if you see if you say like this, okay, like Khan and let's suppose Ali, and then you will see. So you see, now the citation is there, but we edited the style that uh, Mandela inserted at the beginning. So you see, normal style should be like this, but we edited. So actually, this is a very nice feature in Mendeley. I am using and not also from very long time. In this way, Mendeley is much user friendly as compared to Intron. But there is a pros and cons in both, and all software is like this. So, okay, later on I will show you some limitations of Mendeley also. So this is one way, and sometime, for example, you have this citation already. You have already inserted. You want to add one more. For example, here anyone AR. Okay, and let's suppose this one. Okay. Now you see this one and this one are together. So if you want to select to merge this one also into the list that we have already done. So you see select this one, okay, and select this one, and after that you see you will get the option merge citation. Okay, so you just click this one. You see this one is also included into that semicolon separated list. So these are the different ways how to insert uh, uh, a citation to your MS Word file. So let's suppose at the end, when you completed all the writing, okay, all the writing, and now you want to add the references. So you just put your cursor. Where is your cursor? You see, let's suppose my cursor is here. So wherever is your cursor, okay, at that point actually all the references will be inserted. So mostly we should write like references. Okay, and after that you can insert bibliography. Okay, so you see here all the papers that I have cited here. Okay, all that are already included. They are arranged, even everything. Okay, the style is according to APA. So if you want to change the style, so you see this is the benefit of using citation manager, that if you are not using citation manager, then you will have to manually change an individual thing, even semicolon, full stop, all these details. But in case of citation manager, you just change here. For example, I want to use IEEE style. So you see these changes are already here. The bibliography, the references are also changing change already, and arrange and number is given. If you want, even you see the benefit once again, that if there are thousands of pages and hundreds of pages, by one click you can change the whole document. Okay, so let's suppose change to this one. Suppose advanced robotics, so it is almost the same. So let's change to 7th edition. We say 7th edition. APS 7th edition. So to change the different citation style. It is like, finally, one thing is quite important, and I have faced this problem many times. That if let's suppose you save this document at this moment, and if you want to send to someone this file, then you see actually these all the references, these are like a links. Okay, when you click, you see these are a links. So if something mistakenly click, okay, it can change your contents. So when you complete all the writing and all the citation and all the references, when you complete everything, at the last moment we should export the file without without this linking. Okay, so then you can click here, you see export as, you see, without Mendeley fields. Without Mendeley fields means that, you see, now is when you click this one, it is selectable. Okay, it is selectable, you see the whole thing is like select. But when you export without Mendeley fields, it is actually called plain text. Then after that, there will be no linkage. Okay, so if we want to export without the Mendeley fields, then click this one. It will create a new file of this plain text file. Let me open the plain text file. Okay, so where is the plain text? Is this one? Open it. Yeah, so now you see it is not a clickable version anymore. If you click this one, you see it's not a clickable version anymore. So now it is easy to share, it is easy to collaborate with someone else. And mostly when you are submitting to someone, or maybe to your supervisor, or submitting to a journal, then must export as a plain document. Okay, another version was this one, another option. I think yeah. Okay, that if you want to share with someone, with some collaborator who is using different software, okay, then you can export in that format also. Like you see, export compatible with LibreOffice. So if there is a different version of it, you can select this one also. Okay, so these are the different aspects of different uses of Mendeley software. I hope this will help you. And if any question, we will discuss later.